What up? What up? What up? What up? We back. We back with another reaction to the stock market. It's Tuesday, Trapping Tuesday, and we ready to rock and roll. See what this morning gonna bring us today. We're gonna see what this morning gonna bring us today. Hope y'all having a great morning. Hope you in the best of health at this time. Hope your family doing well. We ready to rock and roll this morning on this Tuesday morning. Just like that, it's June the 3rd, guys. Just like that, it's June 3rd. We got right around 5 minutes before this market open. And yes, we here early and we ready to rock and roll. We here early and we ready to rock and roll. Ready to get this morning going. Well, once again, we appreciate everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. Hold on a second, I gotta cut this off because I totally forgot. That's why it's good to be on time, guys. That's why it's good to be a little bit early. Not on time, but a little bit early. It's more relaxing. You know what I'm saying? You can make sure everything is ready to rock and roll and everything ready to go. We got 5 minutes before this market opens, and we ready to rock and roll. Yeah, I got to try to get my speakers working over here. I got not a lot of work, but I got to start doing some work over here to update some things. That's what I got to do. I got to update some things, right? So I've been kind of slacking on that on my streaming end, trying to get my streaming ready to rock and roll. I'm kind of slacking on that, but I got to find some time to get that together. All right, we ready to rock and roll. We got everything up and we ready to rock. But yeah, I got some things I need to take care of as far as this computer over here. Yeah, I gotta take a full day and sit down and actually get this that's on this computer on that one. That's my goal and what I really want to do. That's my goal. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate you for coming and joining me this morning. You could be anywhere else, but you're kicking it with me. We got 3 minutes before this great stock market opens. And hey, we're gonna see what we're gonna do today, what this day holds. That's what we're gonna do. We got a little under 3 minutes. We got everything ready to rock and roll. Got the support, got the resistance. We are on the uptrend, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. We ready to rock and roll. Can we break the 138.50 and make a move on up? Can we break the 138.50 and make a move on up? Looks like we're gonna do that at this time. So we ready to rock and roll. We're above the 138.40, which is the resistance. And we're trying to make a move on up this morning on on nvda. Yeah, we're looking for it today. We're looking for a great day. 140. Remember 140 from last week, guys. Remember 140 from last week. We got about $1.10 to go, but 140 from maybe almost 2 weeks ago. 140 is strong resistance. Remember, guys, from a couple of weeks ago, 140 was strong resistance. I got to tighten it up. Yeah. We at 138.89 with the pullback right there. With the pullback right there, we got a minute and 40 seconds left before this great market opens. And we ready to rock and roll, which This is now support, as we know that. Old resistance turns into new support, stock sniper. Well, good morning, Don Julio. How you doing? Old resistance turns into new support, stock sniper. Make sure you get that to going as we trying to get back up above 139. Back above 139. Let's see. I got to make another resistance because as we move on up, we get a new resistance, which is right there. I don't make it as thick as this because this is like this resistance is the daily resistance. This resistance is resistance from the past, which we already know 140 is heavy resistance. As we try to get up there, we got 35 seconds left before this market opens. We ready to rock and roll. Can nvda get back above 140, guys? Can nvda get back above 140? Everything is looking like it's going to be a go for the upside. We got the lower shadows, not the lower shadows. We got uptrend, bounce, 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 bounce as we get ready for the market to open. Can we get above 138.90 to get above 139? And here we go. Another day in this stock market. It's called Trapping Tuesdays. Let's go. We're getting rejected at this point. Long upper shadow. Long upper shadow. We get we above it. 1, 2, 3. 138.89. 4, 5. Yeah. 138.99. We're trying to see if we're gonna get above that 139. We're trying to see right now. Big upper shadow. Big upper tails, I like to call them. 138.99. 138.99. We're okay. We're trying to make it above 139.03. We're back below the resistance. Another upper shadow. I don't like those upper tails. Yeah, I don't like those upper tails. And I don't want to go short. Why you don't want to go short, stock sniper? Because bounce, bounce, bounce. We're on this big, huge uptrend, as you can see. This is the uptrend line. I don't want to go short. I don't want to go to the short side unless we break that uptrend line. Let's see if we get a good pullback. I don't want to go short, guys, because of the uptrend line. But if we break the support of 138.40, if we break the support of let's see, let's hold our horses. Considering switching to a short. I was looking for the 139 above break, but we ain't getting that right now. The SPY selling off. So we're going to hold out right now. I wanted to go long. That was my plan A, was to go long. I didn't even have a plan B. I'm just being honest. I didn't have a plan B. You should always have a plan B, but this morning, I didn't have a plan B. My plan A was the bounce, and the continuation above 139. That's what I was banking on, but it didn't happen. So now we gotta try to see if we're gonna bounce again off the support. Those upper tails told the story. Those upper tails told the story. We are 4 minutes in on this great stock market. Another upper tail. It looks like we're going to switch to the short side. Yes, you can make money on the stock market if it goes up or if it goes down. Now I think we're going to switch to the short side. Yeah, we're about to switch to the short side, guys. Now let's see. Will we go up under this? We're right at the uptrend line. If we break that, it's curtains. We're right at the uptrend line. That uptrend line I've been talking about all morning. Right there. This uptrend line. We would have bounced off the uptrend line. Golly. But we got all these upper tails, bro. That's the thing that's getting me. That's the thing. We got all those upper tails. If we break that trend line, if we break this uptrend line, another bounce. All these tails. Lower tails and upper tails. Lower tails and upper tails. So we got to get back above 139.05. If we get above 139.05, because I don't like going in when all these tails are right here. That's what I don't like. So we just holding off right now. We got all these upper tails and lower tails. Wishy-washy at this moment. We wishy-washy at this moment. But the market is, we are going between red and green on the market. So let's see. Okay, now we're back at the support, at the uptrend support line that I've been talking about all morning. I'm starting to lean towards that we're going to crack that line. That's what I'm leaning towards. We're going to crack that line. This line right here. Let's see if we're going to crack this line. The uptrend line. Can we crack it all the way? Good morning, Steph B. What's up? What's going on? How you doing? Can we crack this uptrend line? Another upper shadow. Can we crack it? Oh man, bro. I tripped out. Damn. We got the VWAP starting to point down. The EMAs are starting to point down. We're back right by that trend line, by this uptrend line. We did get down to 137.96. $137.96. We're above the VWAP now. Kind of a slow morning. Yeah, it's kind of a slow morning, but you know, we probably got some type of news at 9 o'clock. I got to check the economic calendar. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that real fast right now. See if we got any news coming out at 9 a.m. Any economic news. Factory orders, job openings. Not really that much. Okay, let's get back to what we need to be. Not really that much news as far as economic data. We are at 138.66. A wishy-washy type of morning. A wishy-washy type of morning. Can we get back above this 139 for the move on up? That's what we're waiting to see right now. On the 30-minute, we still red. On the 15-minute, we still red. On the 10-minute calendar, we green. Okay, so let's see. Can we get back up there to this resistance area right here? Can we get above the 139? Come on, let's push it, guys. We are above the week VWAP, above the EMAs. We're getting up here. We're getting where I wanted us to be from this morning. So that means that the plan A might work out. We're at resistance. 139.05. We got to get above that to make a move. Good bounce off of the uptrend line that I've been talking about all morning. You see the bounce off the uptrend line. I didn't take it because I didn't like all these upper shadows. All these upper shadows that's right here, right here. I didn't like that. The upper shadows was a little bit too big for me. Like right now, we're going against that resistance line of 138.90. Can we get above that? The SPY is green. We got to get above 139. Let's see what the SPY got going on. The SPY pulling back. The SPY is pulling back. Steph B, right. Yeah. All those upper shadows. Upper tails, as I like to call them. We got to get above the 139.05. We got to get above the 139.05. I'm thinking we are. I'm thinking eventually all these reds gonna be green. That's what I'm thinking. It's gonna end up being a red day for Facebook and Microsoft. We're gonna get above that 139.05. There you go. Big upper shadow. We got a big upper shadow right here. Can we eat it up? We're about to tell right now. We got to eat up that. Right here's going to tell it. Here we go. Can we get above the 14? There we go. Push. Push. 139.19. 139.19. We did break above the 139. These upper tails, man, that's what be throwing me off, bro. Like, I don't like those upper tails. 139.21. I don't like those upper tails. Push. Come on, push it above 22. There we go. I don't like those upper tails, bro. Once we get above them upper tails, we ready to rock and roll. Let's get it. Keep pushing. 119.33. 40 is going to be a tough one. There we go. Come on, push it above the 40. We got to push it above the 40. We're going to take it right there. We're going to take it. Man, soon as I get out, it breaks the 40. Bro. But I don't like that wishy-washy, man. I don't like it. I don't like the wishy-washy. I just don't. Yes, it was long on top to the RSI high. Yeah. But see, I got what I was looking for. I was looking for above the 139, and once we got above the 139, I kind of figured we was gonna push it at least to the 40, or the 50. But once we got above that 39, I knew our system was go. But I didn't want to touch anything because of these upper shadows right here, these upper tails that kept popping up. But the bounce off that trend line though was it. Wait. The bounce of the trend line, that was it. But I didn't want to take it at this trend line. I didn't want to take it down here because all these upper tails. But I knew that if we broke this resistance, that we would get some type of push. And that's what happened. Yeah, I knew if we broke this, we would get some type of push. But overall, I don't like the way it's moving early this morning. I don't like this movement, all this up, down, up, down, up, down. I like thick green or red candles. That's what I like. But we're trying to see if we're going to put, but see this line, this 140 is big resistance right here. So we're going to see if we're going to get above this 140. We're going to see if we're going to get above this 140. Which I think is going to happen. We're going to push to that 140. I think we're going to get up to here to the 140. Yeah, it was a nice follow through. I like it a lot. But we got to get up to this 140 and above it. And which I think eventually everything is going, well, I'm not talking about Bitcoin, but I'm thinking Facebook is going to end up green. I think we'll get another push up. Let's see what the SPY doing. Yeah, I think we're going to get a good push up. Come on, we need everything green. Yeah, everything's looking good. Come on, NVIDIA, push up. We're going to look and see if you're going to get to the 40. I think we're going to get to that 40. Or even Bitcoin is looking to go green. Let's go. There we go, above the 50. We 50 cents away. That might be my next trade if we break this 40. Yeah, that might be my next trade. That's why early this morning, my mind wasn't on those shorts. My mind was on long. And that's exactly what happened. But I thought we was going to get this push at the opening of the bell. But we did. We got a pullback. But good bounce off of this uptrend line. That was a great bounce off the uptrend line. Bounce, 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 boom. And I think we're going to get a good push above 140. That's what I'm hoping for. Because we need to get back above 140 and start pushing back up. We need to get above the 140s. We need to get above the 140s. And get back above this 143.80. Get back above this area. Hopefully we can do that this week. And we need to get above 143.80. 85. Yeah, come on, let's push it. 139.80. 139.80. Let me get myself prepared. I don't think it's going to be a straight breakthrough, though, because there's a lot of sellers right there at 140. So we're probably going to get a pullback at first, because I'm quite sure there's a lot of sellers right here at the 140 area. S&P done pull back to the VY. Here we go, guys. Come on, let's break this 140. We are 25 minutes in on this great day. I'm thinking we're going to get a little pullback first. That go a small tail. 139.87. $139.80. 139.89. $139.95. My line is a little bit off, but we all know it's 140. There go the upper tail. We all know it's 140, but my line is a little bit off. Just watching to see if we're going to push above it. We're getting a lot of rejection right there at this moment. $139.92, $139.93, $8.56. We do have a little bit of news coming out at 9, which is, factory orders and job openings. So we waiting to see what's going to happen. 139.99. There go the push. We close to 9 a.m., so I'm going to hold out. But we did get that good push over 140. Let's go. We got the push over 140. Come on, Facebook. We need you to turn green. Bitcoin is now green, guys. All we're waiting on now is Facebook. Come on, Facebook. You got to turn green. We on the move on up. We on the move on up. Come on, Facebook. We need you moving. 139.30, 140.36. That is a resistance line. Right around 36 to 40. And there goes the first pullback off this push. The 40 is now the support. The 140 is now the support. The 140 area, old resistance, turns into new support. We're trying to get above. We're trying to get above 140.50. We're getting some steam now, guys. We're getting some steam now. Come on, let's push. Another tail. It's 9 o'clock. That's why. That's 9 o'clock. Here come the movement. The news came out. $140.65. Come on, Facebook. We need you green, bro. $140.69, $140.70. Let's keep pushing. Everything looking real good at this time. We just need Facebook to turn green, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. We need S&P 500 to keep pushing. We are 30 minutes in, really early in the market. It's 9 o'clock. That's it. That's it. Yeah, we ready to rock and roll. Let's see what our buddies talking about down the street. Yeah, let's see what they talking about. We haven't listened to the buddies down the street in a while. So let's see what they talking about. While we watching the video go up to 141.
Now, these are durable goods.
Wait.
These are final reads that replace mid-month read.
I think we had good news on the factory orders.
That's the weakest going back to Jan of last year. If we look at durable goods ex transportation, a dramatic improvement.
Yep, good news, guys. On the factory orders.
In February of this year. If we look at capital good orders, non-defense sector, proxy for capital spending deteriorated by 0.2.
Look at that move on up past 141. Next resistance 141.70. I need to check and make sure that that is correct.
And finally, if we reverse from orders to shipments, it remains at minus 0.1%. Right now, we're looking at 392 in a 2-year, and after all the data.
Okay, S&P 500 is starting to move, guys. On that good news.
Down 2 basis points. Long end down much more dramatically. Hence, we're looking at some steepening of the
on that news.
10 years at 441, down a half a dozen
reporting from Atlanta Fed President Bostic talked to reporters a short time ago. He says, quote, pervasive uncertainty calls for a patient policy stance.
We're going to see how long this uptrend going to last. Even though it was good news, it wasn't like CPI data, or, it wasn't nothing that's at the top of the totem pole. It'll get a little jump, but not that much.
From Chicago Fed President Goolsbee, he's a voter this year, that the PCE data may have been, quote, the last vestige of the pre-tariff.
But any news is good news.
He says, quote, I am in no hurry.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, not a voter this 2025 period, but this pretty much jives with what the Powell thinking and lines have been on.
Any news that is good, no matter, how big or how small the news is, any news is good. If it's good news, yeah, we need all the good news we could use at this time. Long as they don't say tariffs, long as they don't say tariffs, we straight. But as soon as they start talking about tariffs, the market don't like that at all. And all these gains will go away. Long as they don't say tariffs. That word there is negative when it comes to this stock market and to life in general. Nobody likes taxes. Okay, now we're coming back to the EMA, coming back down here to this 9.
All the stuff that we talk about every single day, what we hear about.
I mean, 1.6, they were at 2.8 last year. And our friend David Rosenberg today argues if you're lowering this year and next, that somewhere in there implied is a recession, which
right.
David would go along with that view.
Which is 2 consecutive quarters negative growth. And, you look at where people are putting their money, and Kalshi is a good place to go, right, for the betting markets. It's been a pretty big swing. We've gone in just a month from 70% odds of recession to now 29% odds of recession this year. That's what's basically.
When would be a good time to take a short?
That spike. That was.
That's what we need to look at right now.
As high as 69% odds of recession in the betting market, and look how far we've come down to 29% odds in the betting market. It's all about the de-escalation. Right now, I think one of the reasons the market is flat is we're waiting to see if when that call is between Xi and Trump. Remember, even
they waiting on the call. Donald Trump and President Xi is supposed to be talking on the phone. So the market is waiting on that. The market is waiting on that. So they're waiting on this phone call between China and America. Big pullback. So they're waiting on that phone call between Trump and President Xi. So I don't know if that's going to happen today, tomorrow.
Similar to the trade negotiations that really centered more in the end on currency markets than they did on tariffs.
Right, but you're right. The market was sort of set up with a certain number of promises.
Now let's see what our boy's talking about down the street.
It's been 52 days since he said that. I wonder whether or not you think there's a danger in some of these people across the table sort of rope-a-doping and slow going these talks.
Certainly. I mean, we saw the Europeans going slow. We saw the president push back. Then we saw them come back in, and everything seems to go back to a negotiation. I think we just have to look at this, Carl, as a storyline that is a negotiation tactic. This is how our president operates. It's different than past presidents. It's different than most past policymakers sitting in trade negotiation seats. But the idea is to end up in a fairer, more balanced trading environment. That's why I find all these forecasts, whether it's the Fed, the OECD, that are focusing on inflation or growth hits. Why? Why do that? This could end up actually very positive, and you should have that probability weight in your economic forecast just as well. I think it's a mistake by many to assume the worst, that everything goes to a less fair or less congruous trading environment. We could go a cooperative. We could go to a much more cooperative trading environment when all this is said and done. That's the goal.
I feel like that's what the equity market, David, is increasingly telling us. We're 3.5% off the highs on the S&P and 23% off the lows in the S&P. So at this point, it's kind of a glass half full approach. What needs to fall into place economically and from an earnings perspective to have that happen? Because there are still risks, right? As you change the cost structure of business, that there's going to be side effects.
Sure, and every one of these businesses is fantastic at risk managing. That's what they do for a living. These CEOs have many shocks, not just trade, but shocks all across their businesses to manage, and that's what they do for a living. That's why they get paid, and they'll continue to do that. Look, sir, we've got deregulation to get excited about. We've got a tax bill to get excited about, tax cut and job growth, tax changes that are going to be pretty significant. And we have a whole set of monetary policy changes that I think are going to be coming down the pike sooner rather than later that probably ease up financial conditions as we realize this was much more of a negotiating tactic and less inflationary than many people had thought. So there's a lot of policy on the horizon that to me looks very positive for equities.
I mean, that was the view on the big, beautiful bill. You see that as stimulative? Because now there's a little bit of a debate about that and whether the market is excited about that given bond market responses and concerns around deficit.
Absolutely. I think people got very nervous about that. They got nervous about the Moody's downgrade. We had a 10 basis point backup in 10-year yields on both announcements, or both sort of
141.22
news hits.
141.30.
24 hours, that 10
What
basis
about
points was completely unwound. These are not Liz Truss
off
moments.
the
These are
support?
not some sort of major bond market alarm bell. It's not an alarm bell that's ringing. This is a bond market that's actually, since the middle of April, since that crazy week in the middle of April, second week in particular, has been remarkably stable in and around the 4.5% area, which is where yields were on election day. Basically, they were 430 to 440. So we haven't seen that much movement in long-term interest rates for all the alarm and all the scare tactics that everybody's running around with. I don't think the market's buying it. And I think your point is very important, Sarah. The equity market is just not buying this doom type narrative that has been attempted to be sold to the body politic. It's just not. It's not true.
Right. Although, I mean, U.S. stocks are underperforming the rest of the world by the most in 30 years.
Carl, yeah, you're absolutely right. We're coming off an incredible run of what we all call somewhat of the exceptionalism trade of the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's been a heck of a run. And people are protecting themselves. I think they see, Carl, a reason why there may be a recalibration of the dollar, and that may be part of the trade negotiation, like what we saw with the Taiwan dollar not too long ago, which I do believe is part of their negotiation tactic on trade with the administration. And part of a recalibration would be a more competitive dollar. I don't like to say a weaker dollar. I like to say a more competitive dollar. And I think that people are looking at that and going, well, maybe I can park myself outside of the dollar a little bit to hedge for that. I actually think it's a great story long-term for U.S. stocks to be more competitive. I do think you want to hedge out the dollar a little bit here. And I do think we are going into a period of dollar weakness. But that actually is a huge long-run positive for U.S. equities because it just makes our companies that much more competitive.
If there's not a loss of confidence. Yeah.
Can I get you, David, before we lose you? This Section 899 of the bill.
You gotta hear what he just said. They're trying to hedge out the dollar.
Revenge tax, they call it the sledgehammer, which would require Treasury to report to Congress every 3 months about punitive policies around the rest of the world, and then with the option to get even, in a sense. I wonder if you think that's going to be a suppressant on foreign capital.
I really don't. I think this administration is welcoming foreign capital. You saw the president in Pennsylvania welcoming the Nippon Steel deal with U.S. Steel. I mean, if there's anything this administration seems to want, it wants to bring in capital. It wants to see capital flows coming into the U.S., job creation in the U.S. I just don't buy
they're hedging out the dollar.
A sort of tactic that this administration is going to use. I think more than likely they're going to be upset if they see jobs going because capital is leaving the United States for Mexico, Canada, or any other country. And so I just don't buy the attack on foreign capital. I think, look, there's
we're breaking
part of this currency.
NVIDIA's coming up on all-time highs, guys.
That says you have to be careful. You don't.
My boys say we hedging out
the beginning of it.
the dollar.
You gotta hedge it, which you can hedge, and it's the most hedgeable thing in the world. You can just hedge the currency on anything. But when you get to the weaker currency / more competitive currency situation, U.S. companies are going to look incredibly competitive relative to their foreign counterparts, and capital is going to flow back to the U.S. because it's going to be that much cheaper. Imagine if the euro was at 140. How attractive would the U.S. investments look?
Well, look what happened with Japan. I mean, the Nikkei was the hottest trade in town on the weekend.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, do you remember back in 2013 and 14 when the Japanese were devaluing the yen and the Europeans were devaluing the euro and they were getting excited about QE? Everybody was piling into European and Japanese stocks, but they were hedging the currency, Sarah. They were using those ETFs that said, buy the stock market, but hedge back to dollars. In many ways, I think that's the trade here in the U.S. Buy the stocks, but hedge the dollar a little bit.
David, I'm glad we have you to help us, give us a gut check on a lot of the torrent of the negative news headlines that we get every day. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
David Zervos.
Here's our roadmap for you for the rest of the hour. Meta making waves.
That was good info. My boy said they hedging the dollar out. 141.50. We're coming up to 141.70. Man, they getting some good bounces, bro. Some good pullback bounces. Man. $141.50. $141.50. Let's see what C3 AI. There's one of them that I'm looking at. And NVTS. Another one I'm looking at. Trying to find the next NVIDIA. NVTS. Well, nvidia is trying to pump today, man. Up almost 3% on the day on nvidia. We got to push it on up past 140, 150. Only one trade so far today for me, 10%. One 150. I kind of don't like trading when it get close to 10 o'clock. 9:30 is usually my cutoff time. Let's see if we can break the 71. Can we break that 71 for the move on up to 142? When I say 71, I mean 71 cents. I just don't want to keep saying 141.70, 141.50. So I say 50 or 71. So we're trying to get above the 50, which that means 50 cents. And we need to get above the 71 or the 70, which is 70 cents or 71 cents to get to the 142. That's $142. And we get a pullback right now, trying to get back up under 141. For some reason, Meta still can't get green. I want Facebook green, bro. But for some reason, they can't. Let's see AMD. AMD pushing on up. AMD and NVIDIA leading the way. Tesla. Yes. AI leading the way today. AMD, NVIDIA, and then the other company I've been looking at, NVTS, is up 10% on the day. Okay. NVTS. Let me switch over to NVTS. They up 10% on the day. I'm trying to find the next NVIDIA, bro. NVTS. I'm trying to find the next NVIDIA in the AI chip space. Let me see. See what their float is. 146. We coming up on 9:30, guys. NVIDIA partnership. NVTS. Let's see. Look at the 5-minute. Man, get this stock for under $5, bro. Yeah, I think I got to jump on this long term. NVTS. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm gonna pick up. Probably both NVTS and C3 AI. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick these up cheap, $6 a share for my long-term investment. Let's see. I gotta do a little bit more, not chart research, but 2021. $1.50. Let me see January. Whoa. So on that tariff news, that stock went down to $1.50, bro. Wow. Yep. During that tariff drop, this NVTS AI stock, semiconductors, they make the chips, went all the way down to $1.52. Profile. Designing and develop. Company is engaged in designing, developing, and marketing power semiconductors, power devices, associated silicon system controllers, and digital isolators used in the power conversion and charging. Mm-hmm. Financials. Excuse me, Doc, guys. I'm doing a quick little homework. Yeah, I still got to check it out a little bit, but I'm really heavily looking towards this for a long term. That $1.80 drop during the tariffs, bro. Now it's pushing almost $6 from $1.80 to $6. May in like a week. Hold on, let me. Yeah, put it on the 15-minute. Yeah, in a week. Yeah. Just on May 21st, it was $1.80. It was under $2. See, this company came across my table, but I really haven't been I didn't do all the research on it to see what it's really about. I know it's AI and things like that, but I need to do a little bit more research on that one and C3 AI. These are the two that I've been checking out for long-term investing. You know, to keep buying and hold for about 5 or 10 years. Yeah, I like those. Like, I'm starting to like it, but I got to do a little bit more before I pull the trigger. But $6 from $1.80, which I wish I could have looked at it when it was $1, when it was under $2. That's what I'm really wish I could have caught it then. Man. Just think about it like this. This company, but I didn't find out about this specific company till last week. And I really didn't do a lot of research on it. Like I'm doing more research on it right now than I did when it first came across my table. But man, just think, something simple as $1,000 from $2 to $6. You to turn $1,000 into into 3 or 4. Because 2 times 3 is 6. Yeah. You the 3x'd that 1,000. Wow. In 1 week. NTRB. NTRB. It's a 2016. See, NVTS started in 2020. NTRB 2016. Pharmaceutical company. Fentanyl. Yeah, I got to look into this one too. Let me put this on my list. Yeah, I got to put this on my list. NTRB. Let's see the chart. Let's see if it's low flow. $2.5 million float. It's a low float stock, which is good. Meaning that if it run, it's gonna run because it's low float. Yeah, I got to check it out too. I got it on my watch list now. Appreciate you, Steph B. Now let's go see what nvda is up to. Starting to fall off a little bit. Time is at 9:30. Yeah, I got to do my homework on NTRB, and NVTS and C3AI. I'm liking NVTS. NVTS. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. See what's going on with this today. We're on a pullback right now. Put on the 30-minute. Anyway, we went from $5 to almost $9 in the same, yeah. But see, like on these, it's good to catch them, but you know, it don't hold them that long. You catch something at $2 or $5 and run it up to $9 on a swing trade. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Well, that's my time, guys. We had a decent morning. nvda is still on the move on up. The S&P 500 is starting to move on up. We got to get above 1595 on nvda. We got to get above 140. No, we got to get above 595 on the S&P 500. We got to get above 143 on nvda for the move on up. I want us to start cracking these all-time highs, bro, soon. As long as we don't get no bad news about the tariffs, and if this conversation that we waiting on, this is big, guys. Trump and the president of China is supposed to be having a conversation. Have an amazing day. Glad to have caught you live. All right, Steph B, appreciate you. Have a great day. Appreciate you coming in and dropping a little knowledge, the knowledge that you got. NTRB, we will be watching that, checking it out. So, well, we're waiting on this conversation between U.S. and China. If they can talk and strike a deal, we're looking at all-time highs on the S&P 500, in my opinion, and nvda and the rest of these companies that we know, like, and trust. So I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Thank y'all for coming and rocking with me. We love and we appreciate y'all. And as always, earn, spend less, and invest. 704 Wall Street is my block. 704 Wall Street is my block. This is the one and only Stock Sniper. I love it. I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out.